Hey everyone, Jason here with another episode of The Gamer Side. Today I'm going to review Lure by Allplay. This is a long overdue review because we've had this game for quite a while, played it a ton, and will continue to. Spoiler alert, I like it a lot. Alright, so Lure. What kind of game is Lure? It's about fishing, obviously. You're trying to catch the biggest, best fish worth the most points. You're trying to wow your friends by boasting about the fish that you caught. That's it. That's how you make points. There is no other way. So it's a dice rolling game. And essentially you have a pool of dice that's available to you behind a screen, and you're going to lay out in the center of the table some cards representing fish each round. So let's say there's 3 cards out representing 3 different types of fish. On the fish cards, it's going to identify the pattern of dice that you need to catch that fish. It might say that you need to have a 4, like one of your dice has to have been rolled as a 4. It might say you need 2 dice and they have to be equal pairs of some kind. And so on and so forth. There's different types of patterns and just a total. Like you need to at least have rolled a grand total on all your dice, 16 or above, or whatever. Might be as small as 4 points or above, a total of 4 or above, all the way up to 20, 25, I think. So, the way you're doing this, though, is we all get to see the fish in the center of the table. We all have dice behind our screen. We're secretly choosing which dice, how many dice and which dice am I going to select to roll for the round, and if I want to use any lures. Now, lures are these little tokens that give you, like, one of them might say it counts as a die that has rolled a 2. It just counts as a 2. So it's going to add to your dice the total of 2, and it's also going to count as a 2 in case one of the fish specifically needs a 2 to have been rolled. But it's just on a token, and you can add these tokens into your pool of dice that you're going to roll for the turn. Now, we secretly choose these, and then we all reveal how many dice did I choose. And then if any lures are in there, that's fine. They kind of ignore them for the moment. How many dice did I select? By the way, there are a bunch of normal 6-sided dice, and then you also have a D20 and a D12. And in the expansion, they add a D4. So you have some specialty dice as well. You add up the total number of dice. So let's say I had 3 dice that I selected, and my neighbor had 5 dice, and someone else had 4 dice. I will get the first chance to catch fish because I chose the least number of dice. Now, theoretically, that means I might catch less of the fish as well, but I get the first chance. So now I roll the dice in the center. Everyone gets to see what I rolled. Any lures that I added are factored in, and I look at my die results, and I look at the fish in the center, and I determine which ones was I eligible to, which one did I catch, essentially. Take those, put them into my scoring pile. If I had the faces that match the patterns, and I matched the total that I needed, and if that applies to more than one fish, I can catch them all the ones that I qualify for. Take those fish, then it goes on to the neighbor who had 4 dice, and then finally the opponent who had 5 dice. Now, if more than one player chose the same number of dice, we roll simultaneously, and whoever has the least total of all when you add all the dice together, whoever has the least total, they technically will be able to catch the fish first, even though we rolled our dice simultaneously. That's the main premise of the game, so it's some pattern matching. Oh, and the special dice, by the way, might help you get up to some of these harder to catch fish, but the special dice, if you chose them, they stay out in front of your shield for 1 turn. You don't get to roll them again next turn, or you don't get to roll that special die, whichever one are ones you selected. You don't get to roll them again the next turn. Then the following turn, they finally come back to you. So that's the downside of choosing the special dice. So it's push your luck. Dice rolling there's no mitigation. I mean, even with the lures, there's nothing that says like re-roll a die. There are some +1, -1 tokens on some of the lures. And then again, some lures are like, it counts as a 2, it counts as a 4, or whatever. And then there's another type of lure that is a boast, which if you add it into your hand, you roll your dice, you catch whatever fish. If you catch at least 1 fish, then your boast was successful, and the boast itself, that token on the lure, counts as 2 points or whatever it is. And you just put it into your score pile. That is mostly it. If you don't catch anything, you get a lure as a consolation. And any lures that you used, of course, are discarded. that's it. That's the whole game. Now, there's also an expansion called Deep Waters. Deep Waters adds a few things. It adds new types of fish, new patterns. So I think it adds the all odd, all even, meaning all the dice that you roll have to be all odd or all even. That's a new type of pattern that the expansion added. It adds what's called tenacious fish. Tenacious fish mean if you catch it, it doesn't go straight to your score pile. It goes in front of your screen and it stays there. And you have to catch it a second time. And then if you catch it a second time, it's like it's a really hard fish to catch. You're fighting it. And if you catch it that second time, then it goes to your score pile. However, another player might catch it before you catch it your second time. And if they do, then they put that fish over in front of their screen. And then they have to catch it a second time to score it. Or someone else might catch it from them. So it can kind of move around, but only once a player has caught it twice in a row will they score it. And lastly, it adds trophies, meaning some of these fish now have little trophy symbols on them. And the trophies mean at the end of the game, whoever has the most trophies in their entire score pile gets positive 7 points. And whoever has the least trophies in their score pile gets negative 7 points. Spoiler alert, I don't like that rule. And Waddle did something similar with the orcas. Positive 7, negative 7. It's so swingy. So I guess now I'll get into the what I like, what I don't like. I don't like that rule, the trophies. It seems to overly punish and overly... the opposite of punish, boost the player who has it's so swingy with the way the points are at the end. Positive 7, that's the player who wins. Doesn't even matter kind of what the actual fish are that they caught and how much each of them were supposed to score. It's just like, oh, you got the positive 7, of course you're going to win. And then if you got the negative 7, you don't even have a chance. So I'm surprised. I almost feel like there's something I'm missing, that it wasn't meant to be that volatile, that swingy, but pretty sure that's how it works. So, with that said, fiddly-factor. There's no fiddly-factor to setting up the game. Super simple. And in terms of gameplay, the only fiddliness would be in referencing the lures. Once you learn them, it's clear. But there were several games where we had to reference. And the reference, by the way, for the lures, I think is only in the shield. It's not even in the rule book or on the back of the rule book, if I recall correctly. So it was like, we have to reference, and where was the reference for that again? So a little bit of fiddliness there with how the different lures worked. But at this point, we don't have to reference anything. We're very clear, and the game just plays super well. It's super clean. Pimp potential? Nah, there's nothing here to pimp out. It already has really nice components. The tokens for the lures are fine. The shields are fine. That's it. There's cards and there's dice, and the dice are really nice. Actually, really cool coloring. I think they came up with some really interesting colors for the lure for the dice. So Lure as a game gets 8.5 for me. This is a super fun, accessible, approachable, push your luck, dice rolling game. We love it. We play it a lot, and we will continue to. The expansion gets an 8 for me. The trophies, to me, reduce it a little bit. Now, 8 is still excellent, right? I'm not removing the expansion. I love it. I love those tenacious fish. I love the new patterns to have to match. It adds more variety. We're keeping that in there. But the trophy model, in fact, I almost wish, like in Waddle, it's an optional module. I kind of wish they said that here. I wonder if online, if they're kind of, maybe they'll release something. But if you're playing with the expansion, it didn't seem to indicate that you can choose to not use the trophy portion of it. I'd almost like to do that. Just say, we're not going to play with the trophies. Ignore the trophies. Other than that, I think it adds much more good variety to the game. So that is my review for Lure. 8.5 for the base game, 8 for the expansion. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.